What is up, everyone? Today we are doing I think is a new bottler for the channel. This is Through the Grapevine, which is the cognac arm of La Maison du Whisky. And so this is kind of returning the situation I talked to in my Palenqueros video a few weeks ago. So there is an anonymous bunch of folks who sent me some samples, and they're very worried about the legal implications of sending samples around. So they're asking me not to disclose who they are or even show the little sample bottles. They're sitting right over there, though. However, I am allowed to show you the stickers that I also got, including a Through the Grapevine sticker and a Maison du Whisky sticker. So, read between the lines. So situation was they asked me if I wanted to some samples of the new Through the Grapevine releases, and I said yes. And I said yes because I had a bottle sitting around that I needed to review, and I was being very lazy about it. So I figured having more around would force me to finally get to it. I was expecting to get like 3-4 little sampling bottles, and I got 6. So this is going to be a long-ass video with a lot of cognac, and I'm hoping I am in, I've not fallen over by the end of this. All right, so let's get started. What have I got here? Well, we got the new 6 bottlings, which are from every cru of cognac except for the Bon Bois. So we've got 2 Grande Champagnes. We've got a Petite Champagne. We've got a Borderies. We've got a Bois Ordinaires. We've got and a Fins Bois as well. So, but at first, before we get to these, and we're just going to go up by proof. Since they're all like different crus, it just made sense to go up by proof. Let's do that. We're going to start with this, a bottle I've had sitting around for like 2 years. This is a Through the Grapevine Single Cask, 1996, from Valdon, which is a producer in the Fins Bois, in the village of Échallat. Doing the best I can here, and this was picked by off-premise here in Chicago, and I got it for considerable discount. I don't know much about this because there's not a lot of info on here, but it is ugni blanc. It was distilled in Lise. Not sure exactly when this was bottled, but figure about 2022 or so. And 53.3% alcohol. Let this be the aperitif before we lead into the new guys. On the nose, just very... In some ways, the Fins Bois, which is the kind of inner ring around the Champagne region and the city of Cognac itself, is, for me, like in some ways, the quintessential cognac, if I can put it. Like, these just always smell like raisinets and caramel. Like, that's kind of the signature for me. Really rich, like mushed raisins. Like, you took a whole bunch of mixed raisins. There's some sun-kissed in there, but there's also some really nice, like, golden raisins, maybe some sultanas. You just kind of put them all in the vat and you just mashed them up. And you poured caramel and a little bit of chocolate fudge on top, like fudge topping. But there's some flowers as well. There's some fresh field flowers. You have to remember these vineyards are really not that far away geographically from Grande Champagne and Petite Champagne. So it can throw those kinds of floral notes at you that are more associated with those regions. And here we go. But it's really, really heavy on the crushed raisins and the caramel. Brown sugar. There's a little bit of like a musty, muddy cellar note to this, which is fun. Like like slightly damp wood. Cinnamon. But but also just like chai. Good old masala chai. Ginger in there as well. Other stuff, I mean, like black tea, obviously, but that goes along with the chai thing, doesn't it? It's like I'm struggling. There's a little bit of something herbaceous in there as well. I think maybe sage. Hard to nail down. I'm going to say sage. That's the best I can do. But hard to nail down. So, yeah, I mean, very just textbook Fins Bois. Like, this is cognac. Like, I am not missing this in a blind ever. If I miss this in a blind, just retire me right there on the palate. I mean, just a really yummy example of the breed. Off-premise did not go like off, off the reservation with this one. Like it's a very safe play, but it's also very delicious. We are getting mashed mixed raisins. We are getting caramel. We are getting damp cellar. But more damp cellar this time. Like musty wood, like soggy books. Black tea, English breakfast tea. There's a little bit of ginger and cinnamon, but it really isn't giving a chai vibe this time. So we'll just stick to those individually. Maybe a little bit of like a cacao powder thing, cocoa powder, just a little bit. The dried flowers are back. It's not as pronounced as you would get with that I would expect from like a Petite Champagne, but they are definitely there. And yeah, a little bit of fig, a little bit of good old-fashioned French oak muddiness, which I appreciate. A touch of dried apricot. Yeah, I mean, this isn't killing me or anything, but for the extraordinary discount that I paid for this, yeah, I'm happy to have this around. And honestly, this is one I would pour for like bourbon folks. I mean, not like the hardcore nerds who are snorting, gold foiled wild turkey or something, but just ordinary bourbon folks who want to try a more serious cognac. This would be a great pour for them. And I know damn with faint praise with that. This is yum. This is yummy. It's yum yum. Ooh, there's some like dried berries coming out now. Okay, put a pin in that. We'll come back. Moving on to the newer offerings. We're going to start out with it's another it's a Grande Champagne. This is Francois Voyer, lot 89/92. So presume when you see a lot, assume it's like a vintage that they can't really declare for legal reasons because it's a pain in the butt in cognac to declare a vintage. But some brands lie about this, so do be aware. But I'm assuming this is a blend of 1989 and 1992. Bottled 2004. I know absolutely nothing about this beyond that, but it is bottled at 43.5%, which is cask strength. So this is probably a pretty damp cellar. Delicate is the first word that comes to mind. What is that? There's a lot of fig on this. It's like a musty fig thing. It's like, imagine, a bag of old figs in a super dusty attic after a rainstorm. There's something else in there. What is that? Tobacco, really. Oh, this reminds me of something. In some way, yeah, okay. So tobacco, where you're getting like, it's like a little bit of burley, a little bit of like older Virginias. Sorry, I'm a tobacco nerd. And a little bit of Perique in there. A little bit of like a peppery, spicy cherry thing. That's Perique. You know what this is? It smells as if you spiked an old, not even a cognac, like an old cognac-leaning Armagnac with a little bit of Mar, like Mar de Bourgogne or something like that. That's kind of the energy on this. There's some florals coming out. Almost a potpourri thing. Armagnac-y mud. Yeah, I mean, I might think this is an Armagnac if you hand it to me neat. I don't think I would call it Palmas brandy, but we're not that far away from Armagnac territory. A little lemon peel, orange peel, peach, but we're really sticking with the kind of musty fig thing. Tobacco, a little bit of a stemminess to this, like stems, leaves. I mentioned peach already, right? Right. A little bit of dried apricot on this too. I mean, this can't be a whole lot more than 30 years old, but it really comes across as just a grand old brandy. Like this is showing age and then some on the palate. Yeah, I dig this. I mean, it doesn't have a ton of power to it. That's part of a symptom of the proof, but it gets around just fine. Like there's a delicate confidence to this. That doesn't make any sense, but bear with me. We're kind of in the same territory as on the nose. Fig, prune, lots of pepper, lots of black pepper, mud, mixed tobaccos, burley, Perique, Virginias. I'm going to run out of this. Brown sugar, like over-stewed Darjeeling. Orange peel, lime peel, some florals, potpourri, cardamom, really cardamom pods. And it doesn't have a ton of mouthfeel. Like this isn't really like smothering my entire mouth. But the finish is really, really, really nice. It's it just clings, and it's not just pepper and tannins. It's the fruit, the peach. Did I say peach? There's peach, and nectarine. It kind of holds on. Very, very nice stuff. I'm curious to see what water does to this. I'm not going to add a whole lot because I don't have a lot left. 2, 3, 4. Let's give it 4 drops, and we move on. Oh, now we're back to Fins Bois. This is a Maxime Triol. I think it's Triol. Vintage 2003. And this is 46.5%. 20 odd years old. Huh. It's an interesting nose. I am getting, what is that? I am getting like a Slivovitz note on this. It smells a little bit like French oak aged plum brandy. I've had a few of those in the past, and they're delightful. Maybe more like Via Prune than Slivovitz, but we're kind of in that territory. There's a lot of not just like dried plum prune, but fresh fresh plum, plum eau de vie. Yeah, plum, flowers, light flowers. It's what is that? Almost just a very light blossom note. Something else. What is that? Something almost chemical but nice. There's like a little bit of a fresh action figure kind of thing in here. Maybe maybe like a plasticine note. Maybe that's what that is. Something in that kind of territory, but nice. More plum. Kind of some kind of red fruit. Red plum. Sure, yeah. White pepper, cinnamon, cardamom. Black tea. Maybe like Ceylon tea this time. Yeah, but I'm really having fun with the kind of Slivovitz note. Okay, let's see what happens on the palate. On the palate, much more kind of straightforward than on the nose. On the nose, I was expecting something a little bit more of a wild card than this, but no. I mean, you're getting. I mean, it's very Fins Bois. You were getting raisinets, caramel, handful of flowers, more like mixed wildflowers than just straight up blossoms this time. Fig, prune, sure. Dried peach, black pepper, black tea again. What kind of black tea? What did I say before? Well, English breakfast tea. Let's go with that. There's a kind of grassy, malted milk balls note. Almost like a Glenfiddich note. Sure. A little bit of Glenfiddich in there. Dried apple. I mean, it's delicious. Probably like the least of the lineup so far, but we're only 3 in. So I'm going to give this some water, and we'll come back to it. All right, glass number 4 and third of the new lineup is Fradon. By the way, you'll notice I brought the big mug today because we have a big tasting. Fradon Lot 70, so presumably a 1970 vintage, unless Through the Grapevine is playing tricks on us. And this is a Petite Champagne. So, and they actually give. It's a great breakdown for what's going into this, but it's a very weird grape breakdown, and you will figure out why when I tell you. This is 75 ugni blanc, 3% folle blanche, 2% colombard. And that's it. That's all they told me. And you are saying right now, where's the other 20%? I don't know. They didn't tell me. So presumably the other 20%, maybe they don't know. Maybe it's just a blend that changes every year. But in any case, we are not dealing with just pure ugni blanc here. We're getting some folle blanche and some colombard in here, so the aromatics should be fun. And we are getting a little bit more grassy, a little bit more herbaceous with this. Yeah, okay. Sage, basil, parsley, a little rosemary. Random flowers, but we really are leaning more on the herbaceous side of this, but it's herbs on kind of layered on top of a beautiful foundation of fruit. Which fruit? Kind of your standard cognac-y fruit. We're dealing with sultanas, golden raisins, figs, apricot, dried apricot, dried peach. Oh, I love the herbs on this. White pepper, some coffee. Actually, there's a little bit of like a super grungy French press coffee thing, like you know where the coffee didn't really filter all the way, and it just kind of like the grinds are just sitting in there. Yeah, that's kind of what this smells like. What else is in there? Just a dried. There's another kind of dried fruit, but it's hard to put my finger on it. It's like a green fruit, like a dried pear thing. Honestly, maybe quince. I'm going to go pear. Very fun, very herbaceous. Hints of like musty cellar on this one too, but it's really driven by the herbs and the kind of beautiful fruity stuff on the palate. 46.6%. Did I mention that? First sip, I had doubts. I wasn't really. I kind of tried it and said, it's not. I'm not convinced. But second sip, this really kicks in. Now we're bringing in the herbs. Geez, I feel like I'm eating an herb salad here. This is great. I mean, it's not great, but it's really fun. Once again, basil, sage, not really any mint, but there's some rosemary, maybe a little bit of thyme, parsley, just kind of leafy stuff. Maybe a little bit of spinach in there as well. Why not? Orange peel. Oh, this is fun. Black pepper, a fair amount of black pepper actually. Black tea. What is that? Okay, so there's some flowers there, loose flowers, but really that kind of, what is that? I still want to say like dried pear. That's as close as I can do with that note. But some kind of like dried green fruit. Dried apricot as well. I already mentioned fig and stuff, right? That kind of grungy coffee thing. The musty cellar thing. Yeah, this is delightful. This is it's kind of between this and the Voyer for what's winning the flight for me right now. And it might be this. I'm going to give this some water, and we will move on. That being said, there is a Borderies coming up, and I love the Borderies, so this for me is going to be the one to beat. But before that, we are doing a Camus. Or my brain wants to say Camus because I'm a wine person and there's Camus, but no, I think it's Camus. And this is Bois Ordinaires, which is it's not even the outer ring of the Cognac region. It's like the the western side on the coast. And this is particularly from the Ile de Re, which is just an island, like off the coast of the Charente region, where grapes are grown. And I've had some of these before, and they've never really knocked it out of the park for me, but I'm very curious to try them because it's just such a different terroir for cognac than the entire rest of the region. Interesting. So it's a Camus, which is this big house. They're not as big as the Big Four, obviously, but they're pretty darn big. So I have to, like, is this their own stuff? Like, are they distilling this? Is this Through the Grapevine sourcing Camus, who's sourcing it from someone else? I don't really know, but curious enough to try this. 49% ABV. Very light on the nose. I mean, look at the color on this. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but this is by far the lightest color of the lineup. It's not the best lighting in the history of camera setups, but what is that? Okay, so to some extent, we're back to like mashed raisins. Mashed, particularly like mashed golden raisins. But there's also a little bit of a maritime hint on this, like a little bit of... So mash up some raisins, and then just sprinkle a little bit of like a sea salt concoction on there. Or even just spritz some seawater on top. That's sort of what this smells like. There's a little bit of white pepper coming through, a little bit of... what is that, allspice maybe? No, nutmeg, sorry. A bit of herbs on this too. Kind of light parsley, hard to tell. Light herbaceousness. More raisin. Some like toffee coming through now. A little bit of a toffee note. We're sort of not that far away from the Valdon in terms of character. But I just have that little maritime though, that little bit of like sea breeze, which makes this fun. But yeah, I mean, the lightest nose of the bunch so far. 49% ABV on the palate. $11 years old, and it doesn't feel young by any means, but in terms of mouth presence, this is the this is leading up the rear. So in the lineup so far, I would think this would be one of the more the less expensive options, so that's okay. But let me try this again. There is an appeal here. I mean, there is an appeal here. And that appeal is take some sea salt, mash it up with some, crushed seashells, I guess. Crushed clam shells after you've gotten your clams out of there. And a lot of black pepper. And you're kind of going to mix those things up. And that's great. The problem is you're going to put them on top of, like sprinkle them all on top of what is basically a pretty normal mixture of raisins and caramel. And that's what's kind of tearing me in. I'm torn on this because it does have that little new element on there, but it's just one new element on top of what in a lot of ways tastes like a pretty conventional cognac-y cognac to me, and not even one with all that impressive a mouth presence. Like this is Mouth length isn't terrible. It's getting back there, but not so much. The finish, I mean, I'm not short by any means, but most of what's lingering after a few seconds is the kind of tea tannins. There's some black tea on this as well on the palate. And the mouthfeel is by no means exceptional. It's okay. This is okay. Yeah, there's a little bit, the herbaceousness thing is in there. There's like a little bit of a leafy herbs thing. Some flowers coming through. A little bit of overstewed tea. But I gotta be honest, aside from the kind of maritime-y elements of this, I don't find this one that special. Well, we'll give it some water, see what it does. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's move on. Glass number 6 and number 5 of the new ones is... Oh, this is the one that should be the one to beat for me. Because this is a Merlet Borderies Cognac. Lot 84, so presumably 1984 vintage. And that means 40-year-old Borderies Cognac. Borderies is kind of my favorite region. I just love the combination of like light touch and florals that Borderies Cognac tends to bring. Now this is 50.2% alcohol by volume. So I am darn excited to try this one. And I'm going to be honest, I'm expecting this to sweep the floor with the rest of the lineup, but I don't know. That's why we taste these, right? I mean, first contact, this just kind of smells like nice afternoon tea. Yeah, I'm getting nice, strong tea. Put a couple lumps in there, a little pour of cream. Maybe there was some brown sugar in those lumps. But certainly not a super duper detailed talkative nose. Flowers, yeah, I mean there's some florals happening, but it's very restrained. Just a little pip of I don't know, wildflowers. More brown sugar, more tea. Fig, sure. Orange peel. A little bit of lemon peel. Black pepper. Kind of just a lot of French oak creeping into this. Oh God, give me something else. I really want this one to win. I really want this one to win. I want this to be good. Because I love the Borderies. But I'm just not getting that much out of this. It's tea, some dried fruit, a little bit of floral, not enough for me. I would love some more. And brown sugar. That's most of what this is. I mean, it's very clean. It's certainly like hopping out of the glass with what it's got. It's just not bringing a lot of complexity on the palate. I mean, we're in the middle of the pack with this. My heart is broken. It's still good. This is absolutely still delicious, but we're like, this is not so far, this is not among my favorites of this flight. It's very woody. There's a lot of just raw, aggressive French oak on this. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm enjoying the overstewed black tea and chewing on like a 2x4 a little bit. That's okay. But dang it, I feel like I would be enjoying this so much more if it didn't say Borderies on the bottle. I'm going to be objective. I'm going to judge this for what it is. Overstewed black tea, black pepper. There's a lot of char on this, like charred figs, charred prunes, dark roast coffee, like Italian roast coffee, you know, your classic Starbucks Pike's Peak blend. You know, handful of flowers, not even a handful, like 3 flowers. A little bit of what is that? Little hint of like almost a black strap molasses thing, which is kind of cool. Dried peach, I think. I mean, it's a very nice, woody, wood-driven cognac. And if you enjoy that style, you'll enjoy this. And I enjoy that style, don't get me wrong. I've given really decent scores to Daniel Beaulieu's and stuff before. Not that this is anywhere near that woody. But I wanted this to be a Borderies. I wanted the flowers. And that's not what this is. So do not buy this expecting that to be what this is. Oh well, let's give this some water and we'll come back to it. 2 squirts. All right, last glass of the flight. We are almost 40 minutes into this. Oh yeah, and this is a Jean-Luc Pasquet. JLP is mostly known as a bottler, but you can't really say they're a non-distillery producer because they also distill their own stuff. They have their own vineyards and they make their own juice, but they're probably better known as a bottler of other people's stuff. Now this, I imagine this is their own distillate, but I honestly don't know. But in any case, it is a Grande Champagne, the second of the lineup, and it is called the Single Cask 95. So presumably this is a 1995. And it is 51.3% alcohol by volume. That's a good swirl. I don't know if fig cake is a thing, but if fig cake is a thing, this is what it smells like. So imagine like making I don't know, a classic American fluffy cake, but you're using fig as your source of flavor and sweetener. That's really what this smells like. They're going to layer some flowers and a little bit of rose water on top. Chocolate sauce, like chocolate hot fudge sauce. Prune, dried peach, black tea, like Darjeeling tea. And yeah, I mean, it's got a definite presence in the glass. This feels, it feels big, and that's kind of what I want from a Grande Champagne. Like I want heft, I want power, and I want a balance between the oak and a little bit of floral. That's kind of what I'm getting here. There's a little bit of musty cellar on this too, a little bit of like a damp wood, or like after you made your Darjeeling, you kind of left the leaves in your pot for a little bit too long and it started to get a little grody on you. A little bit of that. Okay, on the palate. Good example of the breed. Oh, yeah. I mean, the Borderies are my pet favorite territory, but, you know, when the old cognac people insist that Grande Champagne is the best, the best of the crews, I don't know if I would argue that they are wrong. I mean, this shows why. This has so much power. Like, this is really dominating my entire palate. Huge mouthfeel, really good mouth length, good lingering finish. Black tea, Darjeeling tea, but also a little bit of Assam in there. Fig, lots of fig, black pepper, prune. Coffee again. This time it's almost more of a, we're almost like in sort of Central America, or like a medium roast Colombia. Let's go with that. Just a really nice floral potpourri kind of thing happening. Just kind of interwoven into the power of this, as it should be with the Grande Champagne. This actually has more floral on it than the Borderies does, which should not be the case. That shouldn't be how it is. Yeah, we're carrying on a little bit with the musty wood thing, the kind of musty tea leaves thing. There is a little bit of that note, but really this is a big powerhouse of a cognac, which is what you want when you buy a big, expensive Grande Champagne. Yeah, let's give this some water and we'll come back to it. It's probably heading the lineup for me at this point. A lot of power, like a lot of mouth presence, but it has the detail, right? All right, let's go back through these again, starting with the the off-premise Vaudon. I mean, it's just such a cognac-y cognac, this. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Developments from before, we're getting a little bit more of that kind of musty cellar thing, but it's still so like raisinets and caramel. Like that is what this is. And I dig it. I'm not mad. I'm really not mad. I dig this. On the palate. Oh, sweetens up a little bit. We'll bring a little bit of, what is that? Like a sweet prune thing. Or what is it? Truffles? The chocolate truffles. Imagine like there was like a truffle with the chocolate outside and like a prune inside. And you cover the whole thing in like black pepper. That doesn't make any sense. But imagine that. That's kind of what this tastes like. A lot of black tea on this too. A lot of like strong, overstewed black tea. We're not in the stratosphere with this, but it's a really good, classic Fins Bois. Just enough of a whiff of florals. Enough flowers in there to kind of make me happy and remind me that I'm in Cognac. Because honestly, like the flower's the fun thing about Cognac for me. Like if I want power and French oak, I can go to Armagnac. I can any day of the week. But you know what Armagnac doesn't always deliver? It does sometimes, but on much rarer occasions, flowers. I don't get as many flowers on Cognac. So I want flowers on my Cognac. One more time. It's better than an 85. Or better than an 85. I can't do an 86 plus, but I will do an 86. We'll do 86 plus for the. 86 flat for this little Valdon. And I'm very happy to have those. The next time I have any bourbon friends over, who am I kidding? I don't have friends. The next time any of my imaginary bourbon friends come over, I might pour them this and see what they think. Moving on to the Francois Voyer. This is the oldie, much even older than it seems option at very low proof. Yeah, I remember this now. That is such a weird nose. It's like mutant musty fig. Nose hasn't changed much, to be honest. It still smells like mutant musty fig with a mix of tobaccos involved. And I'm okay with that. Like, this is... I mean, in terms of what Grande Champagne does, this is the polar opposite of what the Jean-Luc Pasquet over here is doing. Like, this is what I imagine. This Pasquet is what I imagine when I think of Grande Champagne. Just power with a little bit of finesse and florals on top. This is not doing that. This is just kind of fun and weird, and I'm kind of into that. Yeah, it's really... think of it as a Grande Champagne for Mar fans, if that makes any sense at all. Which it doesn't, but, on the palate. I can't score this that high, but I love it. This is so fun. I mean, figs and peach, dried peach, all the dried fruit, and just like tobacco like being thrown around by the fruit. It's a lot of fun, this. Objectively, gun to my head, I don't think this is as good as the Valdon. I don't. It doesn't have quite the mouth presence, but it's gun to my head as something that is closer to me stylistically, me personally. Would I trade this bottle for a full bottle of this? I think I would. This was just hitting me on my happy place. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's got mouth presence. It's got a really impressive finish. The mouth feel is still not, totally dominating, but it's got a good finish. It's got complexity. Let me try the Valdon one more time. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna score the Voyer the same as the Vaudon. I'm gonna call this an 86 out of 100 with a heart emoji, because I'm not bumping it up score wise. I think the finish. I know I just said score wise. I don't know if this is going to beat this, but the more I was drinking this, the more the finish kind of reasserted itself, and that's convincing enough for me to like bump the score up a couple of points. But yeah, we're going to give it the heart emoji because I just really like the style. It's got the tobacco, so there's a darkness and a grunginess to this, but at the same time, there's a light character going on in this glass, which I really, really appreciate. And I know that doesn't make sense, but that's where I am with this. 86 heart out of 100. Moving on to the Maxime Trijol. We're back to the Fins Bois. This is the one that I had like a fun nose, and it was a little underwhelmed by the palate. Let's see what happens now. On the nose. Okay, that's not so great. So the fun nose is kind of gone. Now this just smells like a Fins Bois. It just smells like, caramelly, raisiny cognac. And that's fine, but I mean, there's some florals there. I mean, the nose was more interesting before I had the water, which is not my favorite thing to happen to a spirit on the palate. More peppery. Gets a little bit more peppery. There's a little bit of a, what is that? Like almost like a cotton candy thing that comes in. But yeah, we're really sticking with raisins, caramel, black tea. The mouth presence is it's decent enough. You got some pepper on the back end, you got some tannins, but certainly this is going to be at the bottom end of the flight for me. I'm going to call this like a, geez. Can I get down to 80? It's better than 84. I'm going to call this an 85 minus out of 100 because, yeah, I like this better without water. I wasn't super duper fond with it, without water. It wasn't my favorite on the table by far, but it was better without water, especially on the nose. Moving on. The Fradon Petite Champagne. Oh yeah, this is the herb one, right? Because it has the unknown grape mixture in there. I mean, this is so... I don't know if there's an intersection between, like, cognac drinkers and cane juice rum drinkers, but if that intersection exists, this is the cognac for those people. I mean, this smells so light on its feet. There's herbs, there's some minerality coming through now. That wasn't there before, right? That I didn't mention that? Yeah, there's some rocks now. There's some gravel whetstones. And all the herbs from before, the sage is killer. The rosemary and there's just a big old box of herbs. And pepper. Lots of pepper and lots of rocks now. Okay, on the palate. Oh. Oh. Excuse me? Oh, man. This stepped up. The Trijol kind of fell apart on me when I added water. This has stepped up. Like, it is just so much more, like, wham, like, powerhouse now that I've added a little bit of water to it. But in a different way than the Pasquet, say. Like, this is... it's still the herbs driving the show here. Oh, this is fun. Yeah. Oh. Oh, this is fabulous. I'm still not getting. I'm not getting into the 90s with this. It's not quite there. I want a little bit more. I want a little bit more from this, but certainly this is my favorite of the second run through so far. Herbs. There's some raisin, some plum, almost some. It's as if the Slivovitzy elements that I was talking about here kind of transferred over here. There's a little bit of Slivovitz happening, oak aged Slivovitz. The herbs are crazy, but there's so much mouth presence to this. I mean, this is to me what I take out of this is that cognac should absolutely do more exploration of varietals that are not ugni blanc. And God knows what the actual makeup of this is. If you are from Fraudon or from Maison du Whisky, and you know what the actual great makeup of this is beyond the 80% I was able to name, please put it down below. But whatever in here is not ugni blanc is really making a difference. I'm drinking this. Like, this is really good. I'll go 88 plus on this. 88 plus on the Fraudon Lot 70. And yeah, that is winning the fight so far. But we have got a couple of heavy hitters coming up. And first of all, again, the lightest color of the group, the Camus. Again, from the Ile de Re, the island off the coast of Cognac. I found this a little bit frustrating before because it had the maritime character, but in some ways was just a very cognac-y cognac. Let's see what happens now with water. Okay. Now we're getting a really intense pound cake element on this. So yeah, imagine making a pound cake and then sprinkling a little bit of like a sea salt element on top. And a whole bunch of raisins. It's a raisin pound cake with sea salt. Yeah, that's kind of where we are. I think I like this nose better, actually. It's a little bit more individual. It's still very cognac-y in many ways, but it's not the... Raisiny pound cake is different from caramelly raisins. And I'll take it. I'll take that difference. A little bit of florals coming through now on the palate. You know what? This little Camus, listen to me. you listen to me talking trash about it, about Camus, about the Ile de Re, and it said, you know what? I'm going to step up and show this guy something. And it is. This is absolutely showing me a little bit. This is the mouth presence on this is way better with water. Way better. Like, I'm going to add a plus to this. I might even add an extra point or two. Jesus. There's some minerality now. There's still a lot of like raisin and caramel. I mean, that's just like, that's the thing. But we are getting the pound cake, the sea salt, kind of like an orange pith thing. That's fun. Like a bitter orange. Yeah, the overstewed tea thing is definitely still hanging in there. This is just better than it was when I tried it neat. Yeah. I mean, it's still not killing me. Like, it's still not, in the upper echelons of cognac for me. But I'm impressed by this little guy. It's bringing something to the table, and it stepped up for me. So I respect that. I'm going to give this. I mean, it's like an 85, but it's more like think of it more like an 84 plus 1 because it just. Because it just gets a lot better with water. And I know I said some of these others got better with water too, but this one really got better. Nice. Okay. We are an hour in. Let's take this home. Merlet Lot 84 Borderies. This was kind of I shouldn't be hating on this because it's still a very good cognac, but for me, as a Borderies fan, this was the disappointment of the first round. So let's see if this can redeem itself. Give me some flowers. Give me some Borderies. There's a little bit more flower coming through. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. This still smells like a big old pile of, musty Victorian furniture for the most part. But there's more flowers peeking out now than there was before. Tons of French oak, tons of fig, prune, overstewed black tea. I mean, for the most part, it just smells like an old cognac. And you're not really getting regionality on this. You're not really getting terroir. But there is a little bit more citrus peel and florals creeping out now. So a little bit of a step up in terms of the aromatics. I hope I'm not losing my voice. All right, on the palate. No, on the palate, it's still mostly just a big old woody cognac. I mean, it's a Borderies for people who don't like the Borderies. I don't know what else to tell you. And that's okay. Like, this is a really good kind of wood-driven cognac. There's just lots of furniture, lots of overstewed tea, lots of dried fruit. Good mouth presence, good finish, good mouth feel. It's kind of got it all. This is a really good cognac. It's just not, for me, a good expression of the Borderies. Lots of pepper. Very peppery. What am I going to score this? I'm going to score this an 87 sad face. Sad face emoji. Because this is very, 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 very good. Do not get me wrong. This is a fabulous cognac. But if you're like me and you're a Borderies fan, this is going to disappoint you. It's just not going to bring what you want from that style. I'm sorry. But it's a very good cognac. If you are... Who's going to buy this? I don't even know. I haven't checked pricing on these, honestly. But this feels like a cognac for, well, Grand Champagne fans. Or, for that matter, Armagnac fans. I think Armagnac fans would really like this. But I'm left feeling a little bit betrayed, if I'm totally honest. However, we have one more glass to go. So far, the Fraudon is winning this. Let's see if the Jean-Luc Pasquet, now with water, can step up. Nose is about the same. It's power, power, power. It's darkness and wood and dried fruit and a little bit of like a apricot thing and tea with, just some lovely florals kind of interwoven into that to kind of lighten everything up. Yeah, as a style, I gotta be honest, Grand Champagne is hard to beat. Like this combination of power and brutality and darkness with just these little lighter notes, the florals, and it's a great combination on the palate. Has this changed with water? Really not an iota. This tastes exactly the same. I did add water to this, right? I remember adding water to this. But it tastes exactly the same. It's huge, it's peppery, it's tannic, it's teas and fruit but again, that little hint of florals to kind of lift everything up. Some orange peel. Yeah, this is a very, very good Grand Champagne, but I think, especially with water, the Fraudon is a little bit better. I mean, I know the Fraudon is older, and so it should be better, but still. I'll give it to the Fraudon by just a hair. This Jean-Luc Pasquet is an 88 pointer. 88 points for the JLP. And yeah, that is your Through the Grapevine lineup. Okay, so let me go through the scores here. Your loser is the Maxim Triol Fins Bois. Terrific nose neat, but it really doesn't carry that through on with added water. So if you've got a bottle, do not add water to it. 85 minus. And then stepping up for me in a really impressive way, the Camus Ile de Re really actually benefits from water. So if you've got a bottle of this, opposite case, throw some water to it. And then beyond that, we have got this thing, which you probably can't get anymore from off-premise, Francois Voyer. I'm sorry, wait. No. This and this Valdon and the Voyer tied at 86, but I like the Voyer better because it's weird and reminds me a little bit of a good Mar. And sorry, I'm trying to recover my notes here. Merlet, 87 points, sad face. It's a really good cognac and not what you want from Borderies if you were in the market for Borderies. This is a really fun wood monster. And then, Jean-Luc Pasquet, 95. It's just a really good example of a Grande Champagne. Not the best I've had, but if you are partial to that style, you will like this. It's a great bottle. But my winner from this lineup is this Fraudon here. This Petite Champagne with a ambiguous grape mixture, but it benefits from it. Whatever is going into this. Is absolutely glorious, and water just makes it better. Herb driven, not necessarily traditional cognac, if what you mean by traditional cognac is something like this, but fabulous spirit, 88 plus. And that is the video. We are 70 plus minutes in. I'm going to shut this down and go take a nap. Thanks for watching, and cheers.